I'd like to welcome in studio Elyse Crossman from the Greater Claremont Chamber of Commerce. We are ready for a great Fall Fest. How are you?
I am well. How are you this morning, Steve?
Doing awesome. I appreciate you popping in. I know that this is an incredibly busy week. Big Fall Festival on Saturday, Chili Cookoff. This is a real premier event in Claremont.
It is, and it's long-standing. It is our 27th annual Fall Festival Chili Cookoff, happening this Saturday, October 5th, on the Visitor Center Green from 10 to 3. It's an exciting event. It's a partnered event between the Claremont Chamber as well as the Claremont Parks and Recreation Department. We have 15 different chili competitors.
Now, that's a lot, right?
That is. It's exciting. And, if you do the math, which is not necessarily my strong suit, but folks participating are going to receive a 2-ounce sample of each one of those chilies. Mm-hmm. So luckily, it's easy math. 2 times 15 is 30 ounces of chili. That's fairly substantial.
It's almost 2 pounds.
That's a fair amount of chili.
It really is. Chili adds up fast.
It does. And at a bargain price. Mm-hmm. So admission to the chili portion of it is $3 for kiddos and $5 for adults.
Seriously?
So
that's it?
At a super bargain to come sample chili and then cast your votes for your favorites in 3 different categories: individuals, businesses, and nonprofits.
Are you a chili person yourself?
I'm not, because I'm such a wuss when it comes to spice. Pepper, like salt and pepper, is spicy for me. So I don't usually partake personally because... yeah, I'm a wuss.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. Some people don't do chili. Other people love it. But people that love it love chili festivals. This is a thing.
And I will say Parks and Recreation does a fantastic job of indicating the heat level. Okay. So whether it's mild, medium, or hot, as well as, identifying if it is a meat or meatless chili for anybody interested in those pieces, as well as kind of main ingredient type information will all be displayed for you, as well as the chili cooks are usually happy to share tidbits, not necessarily the secrets, right, but tidbits about their chilies for sampling.
Now, is it announced who is entering into this, or is it a secret?
It is announced, absolutely. So it is not a secret. You can certainly take a peek at all who is listed, who is entering. And if you still are hearing this now and you're like, you know what, I make a mean chili, I want to enter, we are still taking entrances.
Oh, really?
So if you think that you have what it takes to enter and win, we'd be happy to have you. Now, full disclaimer here, you do need to produce 10 gallons of chili.
That's a lot of chili.
Which is a lot of chili. We know that. But there's a lot of people that come to this event and want to sample your chili.
How many people usually come?
We usually have a solid 1,000.
Wow.
Sometimes a little bit more than that. But not necessarily everybody samples. Mm-hmm. And so if you do come to the event and you don't wish to sample, it is completely free. There is no admittance fee if you just want to come, wander around the event, hang out for the afternoon. There's no fee. It's just if you wish to sample.
So on the chamber side, you guys do the fall festival, the businesses, the vendors and such.
We do.
Then the Parks and Rec does the chili cook-off. So it's a great collaboration.
Correct. Yes. And so this year we have 48 different vendors.
Whoa.
That is a lot for us.
It is.
It might, I believe, I'd have to double check, but I think it might be the most that we've had, at least in the last 10 years, in terms of vendors that'll be down on the green. This is a combination of arts and craft folk. This is a handful of businesses, a few nonprofit organizations, all sharing really awesome things and wonderfulness. And we have a couple of food vendors as well. We have really great Indian food, as well as Greek, and possibly a couple more that are still in the works that haven't quite committed just yet.
Cool. So with the Visitor Center Green located right there in the heart of the city, you can park in the parking garage. There's a parking lot right up top. You can park somewhere downtown and walk over. So there's many different avenues to get to it. But what's great is once you're in it, it's a super duper safe place. You don't have to worry about cars or anything. You are really encapsulated in this.
Absolutely. Yes. Once you are there and in it, it's totally safe. You don't have to worry about kiddos. It's all fenced in and safe space.
Yeah.
There's parking at Barnes Park as well, right down the road. Mm-hmm. So once you are there, it is all there at the same level.
It's like, I know events used to happen a lot on Broad Street Park, and that was such a busy section.
Yes.
That if you had a little tyke that's running around, you're like, oh man.
Absolutely. That's one reason that we did move this event, and we outgrew it. This event did used to happen, actually, when I was a child, on Broad Street Park. And number one, we outgrew the space, but number two, there was safety concerns. And while that's an awesome space for some events, this event is just, we moved down to Visitor Center Green so that we can all kind of be nestled right down in there where all the action is.
So with the event, it's the Fall Festival. It happens the same time every year, correct?
It does. We are always the first Saturday in October. So sometimes that falls on Columbus Day weekend. Sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get grief over that? Like, I can't believe you're doing it on Columbus Day weekend.
We do sometimes. But we've kept it this way for a very long time, possibly all 27 years. Because we just felt like it was easy for all of us for planning purposes. If we keep it that first Saturday, then there's no questions or qualms for anybody else from a conflicting perspective. And we've kept it the 10 to 3 time frame because that's usually pretty good. It's a nice solid day.
Now, on the chamber side of things, to promote the Claremont area, this brings in people from all over. They love these fall festivals. So I think it's really a feather in the cap of the Greater Claremont Chamber of Commerce to have an event like this.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely is. We have folks that have now specifically, they might be visiting the area and continue to schedule their visits to coincide with this event because they maybe stumbled upon it by accident one weekend that they were visiting previously. We actually also have a chili cook that she comes up from Manchester to participate in the competition because Manchester doesn't have an event like this.
Really?
And she loves that we have this type of an event.
Huh.
She found us, I think, by a random Facebook algorithm and came a couple years ago and has been participating annually and sharing our event and a really awesome champion of all that we have to offer, which is exactly what we want, is sharing how great our community is and our neighboring communities are.
I've only had a chance to go one time because I was with broadcasting Newport football. Weekends are kind of shot for me.
Yes.
So there's only one time that I did not have a game on a Saturday and I got to go and I had a great time. I was like, this is cool. I didn't do a chili. I had nothing against chili. I just didn't feel like dealing with chili on a multitude of levels. But everything else was it was great. And like people looked happy with their chili. I'm not knocking it. I don't want people thinking like, oh my goodness, Steve's picking on the chili. I wasn't feeling chili. But the event itself was a really good time. And I think it seems to be one of those things that is really a benchmark in Claremont for the fall.
It is. And we have a lot of folks that regularly ask us about it when it's happening. They want to make sure that it's on their calendars. They want to make sure that they're participating in it from a vendor perspective or a business perspective, that they have a presence there. They know that there's going to be a large crowd of people. It's a great way to connect with a large group of people. As we have a couple of high school students that reached out to us about volunteering for the event because it's a great way to also get some of their volunteer hours for community service at Stevens High School. So certainly if anybody else is looking for those, we still have some volunteer opportunities available. It's a really fantastic community event that we're just really excited has continued. And I'm just thrilled to continue being able to do it. Yeah. It's one of those things that so many things got lost in the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's one thing that we did have to pause a little bit and kind of rework coming out of, but is so excited to see it go back to what it was previously.
I think the COVID shutdowns gave people, it killed some events. Some events died and went away. For me, it irritates me. I'm a huge fan of the, so-and-so annual. Yeah. And then I'm really anal retentive when it comes to the word annual. Like, you missed a year because of COVID. But it also gave different organizations an opportunity to get creative by default and have to get creative and then realize, oh, wait, this is actually kind of better, this out-of-the-box thinking. And I'm sure that there was, even though you guys had the pandemic shutdown, it forced you moving forward to take a look at things differently, and people were more excited to come back and get involved.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in 2020, we didn't want to skip a year because we didn't want to have to be like, well, plus or minus and peace. So that year we did a drive-in movie the same first Saturday in October, like we normally would have. And we had food vendors, but things were individually packaged. You know, we worked with it the best we could to make it be what we needed to do, so that we could say that it still was the 27th annual, because that was similarly very important to us, to not lose it. But yeah, we're very excited that it is back to what it was. So I am just super excited to see the Visitor Center Green is going to be super packed on Saturday. Yeah. And I, of course, would be remiss to not give a shout out to our sponsors that are helping make the event possible. And so our sponsors this year are Claremont Savings Bank, La Valley Building Supply, DeCamp Waste, and Ron's Johns. So those 4 entities are a huge shout out to them for always coming through and helping us with this event, amongst many others.
Excellent. And on the chamber side of things, how are things going?
We are so busy. Yeah. I keep joking with myself that there's a downtime, like there's some slow season in the chamber world. And you know, Steve, that's a lie. That's not true.
No. Never.
So we are, in addition to this, we're obviously right at the heels of this are all of the holiday shop local type things that are going to be exploding super soon. Our chamber is also working on Claremont Connects, which is a video production that's going to be happening real soon. We just have a lot happening, and we are going.
I'm sure when you said the holiday shopping season, some people went, gasp, what are you speaking of? But here we are, day 1 of October.
Yeah.
It's November next month, then it's Christmas, and then it's, oh man, I wasn't ready. So now it's time to start thinking.
It is the time to start thinking. And for us, we will be behind the scenes planning for 2025 as well. And so that our hope will be to have our 2025 calendar set before the end of November.
Excellent.
May not be shared publicly by then, but internally, that will be our hope for planning purposes. So it is a constant go.
Fall Fest here. We go, whatever, La Gala or whatnot here. And we've got this happening then, and National Night Out. Exactly.
Because we have a lot of events that we're partnering with other entities in Claremont. We also have some events that we're partnering with our other chambers, like Newport and Lake Sunapee, as well as making sure that part of that collaboration with our Newport and Lake Sunapee chambers is that we're not having major things at the same time or too close together.
Right.
Or if we're doing similar things, well, why are we not doing them together? So taking a look at all of those things too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's awesome. I wish you the absolute best of luck this coming Saturday, 10 to 3?
10 to 3.
Visitor Center Green in Claremont. So the Fall Fest itself, completely free. There's no admission fee. You can just walk through. If interested in participating in the chili cook-off and sampling everything, it's $3 for kids, $5 for adults. And you get to sample at least 15, if not more. Who knows? We might get a couple more chili people to join in.
Absolutely. And we do also have a whole game zone for kiddos to play that's completely free too.
Perfect. It's great stuff. Thank you for coming over. I know that you're incredibly busy, so I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet. Elyse from the Greater Claremont Chamber of Commerce.